Hey everyone, today we're going over Stellar Blade, a game that has been a hot topic lately. I'll be sharing with you everything Stellar Blade has to offer as we count down the weeks to its release as a PlayStation 5 exclusive on April 26. Before I do, I'll give some quick background information. Created by the visionary team at Shift Up, this game is more than just its attractive protagonist. An important message from the game director I wanted to share and highlight to those who are trying to turn this game into something more. Director Kim Tae-young had this to say: "I know that in the West, games characters have to be realistic in many ways, and that there are numerous of issues involved, such as gender and racial diversity. But Stellar Blade is only an entertainment and cultural work. I hope that people will take a look at it as just another fun game that has been released." Now, it's a rich tapestry of action and adventure, satisfying combat, and a compelling narrative. Sure, Eve's striking presence has turned heads, but there's a universe of depth waiting beneath the surface and bosses to defeat. Imagine the aesthetic brilliance of Bayonetta meets Nier, spiced with the adrenaline-pumping gameplay akin to Devil May Cry and Lies of P. Now let's dive into a world where beauty meets chaos. Here are 20 things you should know before playing Stellar Blade. Its developer admits drawing inspirations from other action games titles like Nier, God of War, Bayonetta, Sekiro, and even Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is apparent when it comes to the art direction to the experience with combat. The music in this game is composed by several composers. Kiichi Okabe, who is known for his work on Nier, has also worked on this. 60% of the game's original soundtrack was produced in-house, while the remaining 40% by an external company. You'll be glad to hear that there are no microtransactions, except for if they do costume collaborations with other companies' IP. There may be paid purchases for specific outfits. Otherwise, though, all items can be acquired through in-game play. As Kim had this to say: "We want to make it clear at this point that Stellar Blade will not require any additional expenses that gamers are not aware of beyond what they paid for the package. The only exception is if we create collaboration costumes with another company's IP, those may be sold for a fee." At the moment, efforts were made to include a complete content in this game, and there are no separate DLC is currently planned for this. Gameplay for the main storyline is linear. As you progress through the story, areas will become semi-open world, allowing you to experience a vast world with regions like the Wasteland and Great Desert, similar to more recent games like Lies of P, with different areas and shortcuts to be found. You can break open wooden crates to find possible upgrade materials to craft with, which wasn't seen in the demos, to chests that may or may not require a code that contains more valuable loot. I also suggest turning on auto loot under gameplay, as the loot in this game are tiny little cubes and the prompt doesn't always appear for the pickup. Trust me, you'll thank me later for this. 2. Encountering camps that serve as a rest point and strategic hub. Rest spots offer a place to take a break and listen to some music, to purchasing consumable items or things like grenades to use during combat. To unlock and preview new abilities before spending your skill points with a training mode and area, and restore health before continuing forth on your journey. Meanwhile, supply camps may offer a payphone there where you'll be able to fast travel to previously discovered areas, in addition to upgrading your weapon's attack power and crafting. The demo didn't show off the gear crafting, but you pick up various materials for crafting which can be used at supply camps as previously mentioned. Eve's bot companion has the ability to scan the environment, like casting Revelio in Hogwarts to spot hidden enemies or hidden areas you can get to. Possibly minor spoiler here, so skip ahead, but you may have noticed from playing the demo of the short death scenes like with Tachi. This is intentional by design, and it's expected that there will be many deaths in the later part of the game, so the scene duration has been made short. Since there is no death penalty in Stellar Blade, it is hoped that death will be considered a light part of the gameplay experience. Now you may be wondering how long the campaign is. If playing on easy mode for more narrative focused players, you can expect about 20 to 25 hours of gameplay, according to the developer. Including the side quests, it will be about 30 to 35 hours. However, if you're aiming for 100% completion, it can take anywhere between 40 hours, but as we know, mileage may vary when it comes to these sort of games depending on your skill level. The game does feature a hard mode that becomes available after the first completion. There is a content plan for New Game Plus with additional costume for Stellar Blade as free updates after the game's release, which is really nice to know. The enemies in the demo and the extended gameplay from IGN are intriguing. They range from the usual trash mobs to larger enemies that may have a shield that require one-on-one combat with their grotesque enemy design. Nevertheless, these enemies are unique and I hope to see more variety when the full game is out. The enemies appearing in this game are designed to lack certain parts or to have emphasized appearances, even the bosses too. This is because the game's concept is an action game intended for a mature audience, and the enemy design is related to the overall progression of the story. The designs were 3D scanned of clay models crafted by a professional artist, which is neat. The combat is a mix between hack and slash, with it being on the slower side till you unlock other gear or skills to equip. More on that later. It may be slow to some, but if you play and are familiar with Souls-like games, you should feel right at home with the dance or rhythm these games can have. It offers a blend of melee attacks that can be mixed up with light and heavy attacks that are similar to many modern action games to range attacks with the gun, emphasizing player skill and strategic thinking. Bosses in the game deal extensive damage and unleash various attack patterns, so pacing is more deliberate behind the action. Another thing I would like to suggest is that if the combat feels off like an input delay, try turning off HDCP in the PS5 settings under System HDMI, and even the official Stellar Blade Twitter account suggests turning on TV's game mode, and that should apparently make things better. Hopefully either of those should be the solution into why the combat may possibly feel off to you. Now, you can guard in this game, but players will find Eve's combat style heavily reliant on a mix between parrying and dodging to gain the upper hand in battle. Parrying allows you to negate damage from an attack, but also helps build energy for a special attack called beta skills. It also feels very rewarding when you're able to lower the enemy's posture with the yellow diamond up at the top till it's depleted to execute Retribution, which is a critical attack dealing major damage. Now, there's also perfect dodging in the game. This will be another crucial aspect to get down, a skill you can acquire in the skill tree. A perfect dodge can slow down time briefly, allowing the player to follow up by countering. If you see an enemy or boss line up for an attack or a purple circle indicator, if your beta skill is charged, you can actually use it to cancel an enemy's attack. As you gain XP and skill points, new abilities can be unlocked within the skill tree, from offensive abilities with additional combo chains to one that increase survivability or the ability to perfect dodge or perfect parry, and even more which has yet to be revealed from the demo. Now, when it comes to customization, Eve will have over 30 different outfits for you to drip her out with or completely remove for that skin suit. This is for those who want an added challenge since it removes her shield completely, or for increased visual retention. You can also change whether or not she has a long or short ponytail in the settings too. The game offers other opportunities for customizing Eve. Two types of equipments are showcased: exospines and gear. This will be either things you can find as you explore, get from quest rewards, or through crafting with the appropriate materials. Gears will range anything from increased melee attack, additional beta energy recover to make it easier to execute a perfect dodge, or parry depending on if it's a gear or exospine. Now, for accessibility options, Stellar Blade offers a wide range of accessibility options, from colorblind assist, auto execute QuickTime events called QTEs, and more. I do hope that this game gives us the ability to rebind controls as well, since that isn't an option for like press or hold to interact, instead of the way that it is currently, with it being to hold and the range in which the prompt shows up to interact. That's why I suggest earlier on in the video to turn on auto loot. It makes things so much easier. Now, for the graphics mode, there are currently 3 in the game, which is performance, resolution, and balance. Performance mode runs at 1440p at 60 FPS, while balance mode runs at an upscaled 4K but maintains about 50 to 60 FPS. Lastly, the game will be offering 2 different versions, the base game for $69.99 and the deluxe version with additional digital goods for $79.99 as seen on the screen. So there you have it, that's all the things you should know on Stellar Blade before its release. It's definitely shaping up to be a standout title as we wait. If you made it to the end of this video, comment with amazing chess, and for more updates on Stellar Blade, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and share the video. Let me know what you think of Stellar Blade, and until next time, thanks for watching.